What's the matter?
Have you noticed that there is a common element in almost every Shyamalan picture? No, I'm not talking about his signature plot twists at the end of the movies. We can cover that in another episode. I am referring to the constant appearance of this element, water. Before answering why Shyamalan uses this element so often, we must understand that in his films, every topic, object, or activity has two sides. In practical terms, these elements can be used for good or evil. Take superheroes. More often than not, the unbreakable split glass trilogy are not taken into consideration by the general public as superhero movies. It's curious because these three films have maybe the most complex study about this phenomenon. In these films, the revelation of superpowers always comes from an accident or a tragedy. In Unbreakable, David Dunn slowly finds out that his magnificent force and resistance is the only possible explanation to his surviving in the train accident, and he employs his supernatural abilities to stop a criminal. In the same movie, at the end, Mr. Glass confesses that the train wreck was his plan. Then, Shyamalan would take this theme to the next level in Split, where he created a 23-layer character that has brutal talents, which he uses when kidnapping three girls. Now that we brought Split to the table, let's continue with another Shyamalan obsession, psychologists. Now, we are not talking about his films being psychological thrillers or something like that. No, we are referring to psychologists themselves and how they apply their methods to their patients. As we said with superpowers, Shyamalan puts into question this practice, as there is always a good intention at first, but a tragic result at the end. Here in The Sixth Sense, the main character is a psychiatrist played by Bruce Willis, Malcolm. He tries to help Cole, a troubled kid who sees dead people, while on the other hand, he made a big mistake in the past, dealing with another extremely similar patient. This situation doesn't allow him to realize he's already dead. Something similar occurs in Split, where Dr. Fletcher, with good intentions, tries to help Kevin. However, her ending is tragic. Her mistake consists of misunderstanding her patient, and Shyamalan's ultimate work regarding psychologists is Glass, where literally the villain of the story is Dr. Ellie Staple, a psychiatrist who fakes concerning about the three superheroes. Exactly the same happens with water in Shyamalan's cinema. It's common knowledge that water represents life and purity, or that the blue color of the ocean is reminiscent of a state of peace and calmness. Shyamalan deeply examines this perception. He uses water as a versatile element. For example, we can take a look at this scene where the kids from Signs, Poe and Morgan, are playing with water when Graham, the father of the house, opens the door. If we take a look at what happens before this scene, we can see that in this moment of the film, Graham sees an alien for the first time. When he gets to the house, their kids are fooling around with tap water. Here, Shyamalan tells us not only that this element is inherent to the main plot, but also that it can be distracting or contain a dangerous end in the search for good. This notion is similar to what we said earlier. He treats water the same way as he treats psychologists. Another case of this is the multiple glasses of water that Bo leaves on different parts of the house.
You take a glass of water and you finish it. Now what's wrong with this one?
It has dust in it.
You can think this scene and all of Bo's references to water as a filmmaking strategy to establish that water is a crucial element that floods the rest of the plot. As we said before, inherent to science procedures.
Can I have a glass of water?
What's wrong with the water next to your bed?
It tastes old.
Another thing to note here is that Bo bursts into Graham's bedroom in the middle of the night, suggesting that this could be a nightmare. And what causes this apparent nightmare? An old-tasting glass of water. We can also note that Bo says two phrases, one quickly after another. First, there is a monster outside my room.
There's a monster outside my room.
Then, can I have a glass of water?
Can I have a glass of water?
The movie is resumed in these two dialogues from this innocent little girl. As we said before regarding psychologists, water is presented as a problem and as a solution. Here, the problem is aliens. The solution, just throw them a full glass. Maybe Shyamalan is telling us that the same thing that can provoke nightmares or taste funny can also be our salvation. Shyamalan emphasizes this so much because he wants to alert the audience that water will be symbolically transformed. Second time this element appears, it will be in an entirely different way. Take a look at this frame carefully. What is Bo watching on the TV? The important thing of this fragment of Dexter's laboratory is that the main character, Dexter, is upside down. This is a key to understand how M. Night Shyamalan's cinema works. Every element can be upside down in his films. Think about his plot twists at the end of his movies, and how he anticipates them by throwing us subtle hints like this. For this kind of details, Shyamalan is a tidy and methodic director who does not leave anything to chance. Leaving behind the seemingly trivial glasses on top of the TV and the splash wars between siblings, the next mention of water will be in charge by no one else but the director of the movie, M. Night Shyamalan himself. Let's watch a key scene in which his character, Ray Reddy, after admitting his responsibility in the family's darkest moment, shows the characters the path to salvation.
To the lake. Way I see it. These places marked in crops and such, none of them are really near water. I don't think they like water.
Now that water has been established as an important part of the film, Shyamalan goes one step further. He even puts himself at the same level of water, or psychologists. On one hand, he accidentally killed Graham's wife, but on the other, he gives him a key clue to save his family's life. And to sum up this procedure regarding water, Shyamalan uses a striking resolution. He fuses his role as a filmmaker and the use of water to exterminate the alien. Let's take a look at this scene where Meryl swings away and takes care of the creature. The noticeable thing about this climax is that Shyamalan uses a point-of-view shot. As we said before, he sacrifices the character he plays in the movie to give the family a hint for defeating the aliens. Now, that has been transformed. He's just the camera, as it is flooded with the water from Bo's countless glasses. He reaches a third state of symbolism to end the movie. First, there is simply an object, a glass of water. Then, water transforms into a hint. And finally, it is the solution to defeat the evil from the movie. And also, water is the knot that ties all of the other main elements of the movie. Family, that had been torn apart after the accident. Faith, that was questioned by the main character after losing his partner. And baseball, a sport that represented an earlier, immature stage for Meryl. Not only water works as a growing symbolical element itself, but also finds a way to converge all of the other principal topics of the film. As we said in the beginning of the video, the appearance of water in Shyamalan's films is not casual nor unimportant. If we examine thoroughly his last film, Old, the beach carries a terrible hex. They get old a lot quicker compared to the outside world, so death is around the corner. Even the sea brings them death by dragging a corpse into the shore. However, the solution to escape that beach is the same sea from before. In Unbreakable, it's the same water which almost kills the superhero that also means his rebirth. And in Glass, again can be the weakness of David Dunn, but it could also be the setup to ally him and Kevin with this rainfall. Well, that's it for now, and see you next time on C Cinema.
If you like the video, please comment, like and subscribe.